Great and beautiful morning and evening to you all, wherever you are joining me at this hour. Welcome to 564, 67th edition of Invest Data Trading Academy Live with Ambrose. Yes, I would say that the market, as we speak, across the globe is mixed and majorly in red. You might say that means because I'm seeing that the trend for the first trading day of the month of December is different from what we saw. That most of this market in advanced market closed, some closed in green, but starting the last trading month of the year, in the red. And that is also to tell us is seasonality guarantee or is just a trend by pattern to follow. And I also say that yes, looking at this performance, we are seeing that the market is expecting a lot of macroeconomic data to give insight of what the year is concluding and also ushering the new year 2026. But good news that many investors in this market have also seen the trend already in the market. That also will guide to take informed investment decision. Knowing that yes, as we are seeing that stability is coming back to most of the market, and also we are seeing factors driving the opportunity as we speak. That is what investors are looking at, showing that this is the only way they can take advantage of the market at this season. That means you and I here down in Nigeria, we need to also understand that we need also to take advantage of that same also trend. Understand that seasonality comes as a pattern, but I will tell you any daily that seasonality is not a guarantee, opportunity that comes, but because you want to use your fundamental, your data analysis combined to trace seasonality, that is where you can stay ahead of the market. It's not compulsory that seasonality must repeat itself. It's also when it comes, you must also combine risk management as also as part of what how to trade not seasonality. But today, we're looking at what has happened in the mature market at this hour, and also the topic of the day is that NGS, NGS November market performance and opportunity in seasonality. We want to look at it. How can you and I take advantage of this, to make money in the market? That means you must understand how to trade seasonality, and trade that seasonality will also help you to make what to make informed decisions at this critical time of the year the market is fine. And don't forget that it comes with a different opportunity that everyone that is trading this market must understand how to take advantage of these opportunities, and also make more money what in the market. If you fail to take advantage of this opportunity, that is where you continue to complain. But I believe that there's opportunity that NGS is also presenting right now as we speak. And even yes, we have seen a lot of factors that have put that market in a direction that we might not understand much. But I've said that a lot of things is happening in our market today that also can give us an edge for us to also to invest more profitably in the market. Back to what is happening in the international market. Asia market, as we speak, is mixed, reacting to what the threatening of what of rate cut by Fed, and at the same time, expectations that Japan, one of the major also market after that of China, Japan is in that in that Asia zone also doing its own, also signaling rate hike. That have put that market in that direction. But I tell you that also, but I think investors also looking at the pattern that the tech companies have shown recently, even when concerns for what for valuation has been a major trend that put it down before this trend rebound was seen. After the market have seen the result that came from what from Nvidia, that tells you that that's also a major thing to watch. But with all eyes on China, the major index, to give an insight also how the economy has fared for the month of November. That's also one thing that investors also are looking at in that direction. But I believe that that trend has continued even to what we are seeing in Europe as we speak now. Europe market is also an inch to the south also right now because of also all expectation for on what the macroeconomic data, that means economic report that event that will shape the market in the last trading month of the year that will usher in also. And don't forget that as all eyes are still on the expected rate cut by Fed come 9 and 10th of December, that also have a change in that move that investors in the market crossing toward to 2026. And also relatively that most of the domain or most of the countries across the world has also have way of also blending with the new tariff of the US new tariff regime. And China and the US have been going front and back to reaching what on a conclusion when it comes to what this tariff issue in that also in that regard. But I believe that investors and traders in this market, as I've mentioned, are also strategizing towards the position for the year, knowing that the numbers also that hit those markets are also impressive, and also looking at also advantage of reviewing their portfolio and looking at the seasonality and also sector rotation, like I mentioned earlier, which are going to dwell on Nigeria market. That trend also will continue between now and end of the year. I've mentioned what is happening in Europe. Europe are doing, all eyes on what macroeconomic data or economic report, it or event to what to shape the activity there. Don't forget that also we're seeing that right now, even UK market, Germany and part of France are also in the red, marginally as we speak. But one thing is that as OPEC have left the output unchanged for production for OPEC countries, that also have kind of trigger a little uptick in the oil price across the globe, and that's also good. But don't forget that also in Europe we're seeing that the cost of gas also have dropped because of all the season we have, the warm season that's in that. Also, we can see that there's relationship with also seasonality that we can also look at any given time. Also, we'll say that there's a kind of increased demand for Black Friday in most of this domain. But that also has split over in US as we speak now. The next market are looking also down, even as the outcome of the Black Friday of September of going. Don't forget that US also had a series of holiday last week, and the first full trading day of today was seen a mixed market already, and all eyes are what will be the outcome at the end of the day. But don't forget that in any market situation, when investors and smart traders are always navigating to stay ahead of the market. That is the beauty of what equity trading. That means you can see that different investors in this different climate, Europe, Asia, and US are looking at different things. But what is unifying them is what they expected outcome or bets on what on the STJ rate cut that's expected in December after the Fed meeting or policy meeting as we speak. But that is not to say that no other factors will tell you all eyes have seen based on other people were seeing like other reports, and probably have seen that the purchasing manager index of these domains are coming. That will also give insight to see how projection for the last one. But don't forget also this seasonality period, especially the Christmas and festive period in the month of December. We are going to see this trend for those consumer goods across the globe, not only in Nigeria. I see that there's attention in some type of goods, pastry and other and others the consumer goods, even in some industrial goods as we speak now, because of the seasonality. That means you must pay attention to all this to help you to navigate the market as we speak. But coming back to what is happening in Africa, I'll tell you that the Africa market is not left behind. The same trend we are seeing. But right now, I'll tell you that the NGX, where we play locally here, we're seeing that the market has also extended another great, imagine if I say marginal green, but I'll tell you, this is also another green day. We have seen that for like 2 days now, or 3 days now, the market has started to resist decline. But don't forget that, like I said at the beginning, that seasonality is not a guarantee that yes or no, but because when you are entering seasonality period, you want to look at your fundamental, your technical, and even your sentiment report to also help you to navigate that season and also come out powerfully. But before we go into looking at our topic today, look at what is the market, this time for this hour, looking at NGX. As we speak, I'll tell you that yes, we're seeing a positive market, even when the market is not too strong. We're seeing more buyers. Marginally, you're having 15 advancers in the market right now, and the 13 decliner, and the market is marginally up, gaining 0.05. I can say 0.1 every day, up by around 74.48 basic points. For me, it's not a bad one. Trading right now at what 153,594.86. This is the state of the market as we speak. And you can see here, looking at the chart, that the market is also marginally in green and looking up again. Once market is able to take up this, this red candle was seeing here, and that was it. The market have also break out the T line when we come to transaction. We also look at that also. But right now, we want to look at the market performance in the month of what? In the month of November. When I say so, that is very, very important. You can see different headlines from different media, either social media, I call it, other regular newspaper, TV station, reviewing the market, and that is good to give you an insight. But one thing that we know that there is seasonality in every market of the world, but it differs from different markets, because of what the characteristic or peculiarity of that market. But in our own case, we have seen that before now, November has been, a kind of a positive month for NGX. But because of shift or change in pattern, since 2023, this day we are seeing that after the market have rallied for straight 7 months, we saw that yes, and also with external force and also with fear, and which also we must put into consideration fear and greed in equity investment is as old as the market, which also you also factor in into your analysis. Now that make the market to pull back almost losing almost what we gained for the month of October, down by about 6.8, 6.9 or 6.8% for the month of yes, we will see that yes, you can say it's a bearish month to agree, but that bearish month has created opportunity for the market because this is the period, yes, say sell in May, come back in October, but in a market because May has been defied, it's a up market, and market has remained up after slowing down around the February up to the month of October before saying for me it's an opportunity. Like I said, it's market pattern and also market what dynamics that you must also have to study when you are trading. Because I tell you that when you're looking at the market, you look at the value. Valuation is very, very good. But the story behind that valuation is so great. And also the trend in the market also tell a story. Like I say, you must pay attention to what your money flow, your candlestick, all these are telling you. So whether on the short term, time frame, on a longer time frame, whether you are using daily time frame, you are using weekly time frame, or monthly, they are all telling a story, and that story is also what help you to make informed decision in anytime in market to trade profitably. But back to our topic today, I say, looking at the market, we saw that the market was down, but we are seeing some stocks that we also, especially local stocks, trying to make up, to top gainers for the period. We saw, NCR, we saw the life of Ikeja Hotel, we saw the life of, NCR, and many others, as the top gainers. Yes, that's why the market was have a bearish, bearish trend and also a negative market breadth on Tana for the month. But some stock also again. But one thing that you want to say is this stock that again are going to continue to gain. But the beauty of any market is that there's always a pullback. That pullback is what makes market attractive for new entrants. Now that we have seen that the market are almost taking all again for the month of October, because market of October was up by what 8%. Now that in the month of October, that tells you a story that here that means as we're entering the month of December, and as I said, opportunity seasonality, and I said at the beginning that seasonality does not guarantee that yes, the market will go up, but it is a pattern that market will repeat itself most times, and that's why the analysis is a pattern repeat itself. And why you can see that there are some cycles for every component for the market activities, event that repeat itself. You can plan with them and also know how to take advantage of those trends. That's why I said now that we're seeing a pullback in the month of November, it has been an opportunity for us. We have seen the review. We saw how high cap stocks, some that are remain defensive, that try to resist decline. Some also give way to create opportunity for people to buy, because I believe that all this noise that come this period is also part of slowing the market down to usher the market into a new year that will be pre-election year. And I will say that liquidity is very key when it comes to what investing. If we're entering a pre-election year, and we're expecting to see a lot of company listing, and expecting that the market capitalization for 2026 are likely to cross 200 trillion. That also will be telling that there's information that's already telling you in the market. How will you position is what matters in 2026, and that is why for those that are taking advantage of registering for Invest 2020, since traders and investors summit are already prepared, and also the analysts, most of the professionals and also the spectators, all some of them that for today are already set for the event. That means if you are not kind of mark that date, this is an opportunity for you so that you can come and prepare for what ahead of the market, because the pullback we are seeing at this opportunity. Where is the time for you to jump in? In that class, will tell you the time to jump. Not only tell you that to jump in, bring it down to what which stocks you should buy for the year 2026. God, thank golden stock for the year. We have done it before. This is not the first time, and also people that followed us on that will know that yes, we'll give you record update to see what we have done. Not only that, we are part of this market. We are there every time, any day, looking at it, combining further fundamental technical analysis, valuation, or if you go to our site, you can see different valuation of different companies there. You can see the technicals also write up on daily basis, on a market update, and also weekly basis, so that we can give you the two leg fundamental tech analysis. And now we're bringing experts, almost eight, coming from different backgrounds to share different opportunities for 2026. And you have to take advantage. Yes, like I said, that pre-election year and election year might come with some uncertainties, but I tell you, your ability to navigate these uncertainties and also invest profitably is what makes the difference. Because I tell you, when people are scared and when people that are becoming fearful, that is where the wise investors also take advantage of the market and position rightly in the right stock at the right time. Yes, continue our discussion. Then looking at seasonality, I've told you what the presentation of what happened in November and what opportunity is given to the market now. But when it comes to trading seasonality on NGX, you need to look at what are the things that you can see on a date basis, or what we call it on seasonal basis, that also that event happens, pattern have been also established. What are the strategies for you to trade this pattern is what matters, and that is why trend in any market is very, very important. And we know that in our market here, we know that Santa Claus rally is part of our market, or end of the year seasonality, or end of the year rally, you want to call it. But what is the melody that we know that the January effect is part of Nigerian market. We also don't forget that also have the quarterly earnings season, and also what the dividend or corporate action, or these are the things that shape market, especially as we are entering into the new year. And this is the season, because we know that yes, for me, I might not expect much to see end of the year rally. When I mean end of the year, towards 31st, because after Christmas, they're always after what of course Santa Claus rally towards end of the year, especially after the early Christmas on 28th time, just to see some companies, especially 31st, trying to move up. But because of 2025 have been a bullish year, even when we see this pullback in the month of October, the market is also up now, over more than 35%, or around 38%, if I'm right. That tells you that the market is still bullish, and that many companies will not be struggling to say they are going to push their price, or let the numbers come. And for that, we are looking at to see that this scenario that comes in terms of Saturday rally is where we're looking at. But like I said earlier, it's not guaranteed, but you must prepare to know how to trade this opportunity that comes with seasonality anytime, any day. I've mentioned January effect, how you can take advantage of it, and by combining what your technical and your fundamental. And that is why I do that in this class and follow us. Release date is very, very important. Also, you know that this season where we expect to see not going to get account for quoted company that have the same buy at year end, and others for this, the month of January. That's also another, kind of a momentum, or another factor that can drive, because once these numbers are coming on the account, it gives investors an insight. And also those that will come with dividend, also this season will be coming as February. Even some before now comes, in the last week of January, and also announce their corporate action. You can see that's why January effect in Nigeria for the past 6 years have been a bullish trend, and that means if continue by the entire say it is not that, but you must work with this pattern, this seasonality, for it also to guide you on what to do. Then if you are using it on date to date, as I said, January effect on the market, you must pay attention to it. And I'll tell you, year to date, we are seeing market performance. How much are we expecting to see in January? And for the past year, January has been an active month on our market, and also a given reason why on that active month. Portfolio reshuffling, the position of the portfolio, end of the new year positioning, also seasonality, the position for dividend. All these are common, also seeing numbers that also give insight to where to go and all that. For me, we must pay attention. I've mentioned end of the year, I mentioned statutorically window that comes with the window dressing at end of the year, which is also end of the year window dressing, or end of the year, I didn't want to call it. But I know that this period that leading to end of the year, I've stated earlier, because of rally before now, December is the period that yet we expect to see this central rally, to see end of the year. All these are trends that link to portfolio, restructuring, and also window dressing and all those stuff. Some managers trying to buy stock to improve their position. These are the things that also happen. But I tell you that this time, because we have seen a little change for 25 years, we have seen this pattern play out in our market. But because of what we also saw this year, and then since the 2023, I've seen the trend also changing gradually. But let's see. But I believe that seasonality is possible because but clarity on physical reform in Nigeria is part of what I weigh the market. Even as the markets are waiting for that clarity, like I said that clarity is king. It's very, very important. Even in strategy formulation, also for policy formation, implementation, you need clarity, and that is what the market is waiting for. I'll tell you that if you look at economic events, when you look at the latest report from Traffic IPTs on Nigeria, Purchasing Managers Index, yes, we might see a little slowdown. I'll tell you that the easing of what of inflation, also reflecting on what on the order of many companies. Particularly, if you look at the figure for the month of November, it's about 56.9 against against the 53 point something in October. You can see that the order has increased. I mean, that also is a sign of also we're already entering a time of what more production and also consumption because of what the festive period. These are things that will also guide us at this season. Like I said, quarterly results or earnings or EPS, all of them will come. When they come, it gives you an insight also what will happen. But don't forget, I will say that third quarter numbers are very, very important. Also, Q4 number. Why? Because when you are looking at these numbers, it gives you an insight to how you can position yourself, looking at what the momentum follow of the company to see if the stock is at overvalued stage or undervalued stage. But in all, I remember that it is what the demand and supply, the buyer and seller settle the stock is very, very important. That determines the fair value of that stock at that particular day or value of that stock. You must pay attention to this because that will also help you to navigate the market anytime, any day. That means if you want to take advantage of this seasonality, you must understand factors that will drive this season, and also those that are playing for dividend. And also, like I said, that majority of the stock on the exchange has no December affiliate, and that means if you want to play for dividend, you want to invest for dividend, you have to look at company that has consistent dividend history, and also not only that, look at the company dividend policy. Are they the type that has a equalizing dividend policy? Are they the type also that grow their dividend payout? And also, if you also look at the history of the company's payout also in their dividend plan, I did what I reward their shareholder handsomely because if a company has done well and you reward your shareholder miserably or those it will feel bad. But if you've done well, especially if the company has matured, you need to pay good dividend to give to your shareholder so that they can also to invest in other things. That's also we also invest back also in the company. But for those that are looking for dividend, that is the time we need to position for because it is dividend. We call it the earnings peak, the earnings peak of Nigeria market, that first quarter of the year, and also which also we are approaching. Today is the first day for the month of December and the last month of the year. All this will also be playing in our strategies, looking at in our mind to see how we can position well forward for the year coming. And also don't forget that also profit taking is part and parcel of market dynamics. As you are thinking to buy, also thinking to sell. That's why people that anyone that knows how to buy and don't know how to sell is still an amateur in the market. You are still a baby investor because as you are entering in stock, you have already have your buy rate, you have your stop loss, and also have your entry target. That is your profit taking point. That means you must have it because it's a circle. No, I tell you that you might be seeing a paper profit, but you said to bring it out, it's still a paper profit. You are not made money. The real money is when you are taking, you are sold, and also bring out the gain. That is where you are free. There you are getting money. Also, when you are also having a paper loss, you don't need to kill yourself. Rather, you change your strategy to convert that paper loss to whatever you apply your technical rights fundamental. Patience another thing to wait. But if you see opportunity, you can know exactly when to set your cut your loss. And that's why anytime I say that before you buy a stock, already know your set your cut loss, stop loss, already have your buy rate, already have your exit target, your exit strategy. These are the way you must make money in this market. And in all this, like I tell you that if you want to really trade seasonality, you must combine data, which I mean either call it security data or that date was to guide you when a company particularly will release their result. I'm looking at in the month of January we're seeing on the account which company will release their result in January, which companies will release result in February, and which will release in March. If you add this at the back of the mind, it will help you to plan your trade and also how to execute it in the new year we are going. Because it is now that you are using all these patterns, looking at what release date of a company. In Nigeria, we're just coming up in that, but in a mature market, you see that they say that this is the release date of a company, the time, the hour it will come, and if you maintain it to come and see how market react to it. Also, today we're gradually entering that phase that we can plan with company release date in Nigeria. We can also take advantage of it. But in all this, like I've said it severally in this class, that when you are trading seasonality, you don't do it alone. You combine with other analysis because it will give you a clear direction of what you are doing. Then I mentioned that you can use your fundamental, use your what you know your technical analysis, also you can use your segment. Risk management in trading seasonality is very important. Why? Because we have different appetite for risk. Then also the money you are using capital is king. You need to also protect it. That's why you must have a good plan to manage risk also because you want to protect the capital you are trading in. That's why even when we are relying on what we are looking to see seasonal trend or seasonality, you must also understand that volatility will also come with it. Because you have that back of your mind, you will know exactly how to position. Because I tell you, apart from domestic influence on the price movement or that drive volatility, external forces also can drive volatility. You don't forget that in this market, when we are hearing Trump, coming to Nigeria, to come and bomb another stuff, and also when we are the issue of unclear, direction of the capital gain, even as we credit has not come, that also coming together was a force for the market to pull back. But I tell you, it's another also to kind of deflate the market after the market and also rally for several months. But I'll tell you all these things. I will see clarity now because that also form our agenda for what how we can invest correctly in things. And that's why for those that are going to attend this, I want to break this thing down and tell you where we are going as a nation, as an economy, and also how we can pick our stocks and the stocks also are going to position in. Because I tell you, we have seen what technology stocks have done in the past years. We also look forward that looking at our analysis, our strategy in invest data, we want to pick those stocks. Like I told them, not like I will pick up like six. I'm still waiting to look at four between now and end of before that day to pick it so that in the class we need to tell this is what we are doing and these are reasons why and which we know that in invest data we don't please stop with that reason and what we're looking at, the price and where to exit. But when you are carried away with them, market rally, some of you also will not say, but when you come down, you are complaining. But when you create your plan, I hope I agree that that is why we're attending the class. That will say, this is the plan, this is the expectation, this is how it will be. But when you hit that price, you don't also want what to do at the right time. And this is how I see that you can also trade your word seasonality. We have seen the opportunity that the month of November pullback have created a lot of position well for end of the year and at the same time for the new year we're entering, knowing that we are crossing towards payment season, or dividend season, what you want to call it, because once we start seeing a full year result of this company, we have to open our eyes and guide us a lot on what to do in that regard. On this note, I would also, thank you. But before we close the day, we want to quickly look at some stocks that also topping the chart or also gainers right now so that we can look at it and see what the chart is saying about these companies, but going to give us an insight about also navigate the market. If you look at the one of the class they asked what are the factors behind them. Let's go to call up our other indicators for this chart now. If you want, I think we have less than 3 minutes, but let's work and do that 3 minutes. So can do that 3 minutes, yes. Money flow is key in your analysis, either a weekly or daily or 1 hour. You need to know what the direction of fund in the market is very important. Even as we speak, I will quickly see that yes, we are seeing gradual improvement in money flow in this market, and that is also a thing that we should note. Yes, and the year is going to end. Because I tell you also, most portfolio managers are looking at also how to end the year big and that. And you can see looking at this chart right away. Let's turn it on to our T line. Good one. Okay. Yeah. If you look at the chart already, you can see looking at this chart here, you can see that here the market is still relatively weak. It was across the T line out there, but we're seeing signs, even that the volume we're seeing here is oscillating also relatively below the aggregated volume. We're seeing that yes, money is coming back to the market gradually. You can see your money flow on a daily chart is looking up, and money is about to cross toward to become a bullish MACD. Or for me, let's quickly look at a weekly chart. Or let's first read let's look at the weekly chart to see what is the money flow saying right away. I'll tell you that money flow on the weekly chart it tries to resist the decline. Looking, you can see that for 4 weeks, you can see there was a resistance here that we are just seeing now. And market trying to resist here, you can see it here on the weekly chart. But see, money flow have already turned up again for even when MACD is a bit bearish, but fund is still on the weekly chart. And also, like I was said, on the daily chart also, I think also fund is also entering the market on the daily chart, which is also good for me. That yes, these are the things that you look at in any market. Where is the fund entering? as you are entering the new year, go to see more as an investor, take advantage of this pullback to position into what into value. It's very, very important. Yes, I was saying about the NC, NCR. NCR, I would say yes, in the market here, the stock has in the last 1 month changed pattern. Which I don't know why I'm putting it. I can see the pattern here. Yes, this stock, the relative share issue is small. Not only that, you can see that the movement has not just because of the fundamental sentiment. That's why I said for those that are really have to take sentiment, once you set your goal, always at the when you achieve it, always take your profit. This stock are rallying so far, and from the news that we're hearing, it might likely still go up, but I would not advise you jump in at this time. Yes, being a tech company has to do a lot of tech related business. I learned also they are looking at they are already not looking, they are already putting up software that will be marketed in US, and that also the news that the market you can see. But even that speaking at the movement, we are not seeing reasonable volume because of our share initial also is relatively small. And that there's no volume driving on this stock. You can see it's only when you can see that you saw a good volume in this stock. You can see here, but as we speak now to this level, there's no volume even as we speak. All the volume are relatively low. You can always one day can say that was I can say can see this news when they started their move because you can see there was a straight kind of consolidation all this one before the breakout, and before that I see that there's only one strong volume that we saw this level before seeing what as we speak no volume. I'm at least strongly bullish here. For me, I think we should pay attention or pay that to take profit if you are in there. But for you to jump in, you need to wait for what a pullback so that this trade you don't jump in at this point because most time people jump into the market at the wrong time. After jumping in, the next start coming and be complaining. For those that enter here can take profit and see how to pull back and get more information to show clarity where the company is going before you jump in. On this note, I will say thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you, in next week for our trade that's coming up this week. We are not having a Wednesday and Friday, live class. We will be prepared for Invest 2026 traders and investors summit. On this note, I say thank you. See you hopefully by God grace on Monday and next week on this platform.